Romance anime is a staple of any anime fan's journey, from the comedy of Kaguya-sama to the heartbreaking Your Lie in April. Romance anime have the ability to break us down from the inside by setting up plots which in the end come back to heartbreak or loss. It's very rarely that we get a happy ending because in most cases, they're boring. If I could predict the entire show from the beginning, then there isn't much to be desired.
But saying that, if a romance anime can execute the romance well, then maybe there is something to be desired.
Realism is something that I think keeps anime grounded, and I talk about it a lot. Not that every story has to be perfectly grounded in realism, but if I can believe the character doing what they are doing, then yeah, sure, it's realistic to me. Being genuine when it comes to romance is so heartwarming, and when we can watch anime where the whole idea is two young people navigating love, then I raise an interest. Tsukigekere, or in English, The Moon So Beautiful, is a 2017 12-episode romance anime that I managed to binge in about one night. Its simple description only reads as students in their final year of junior high experience young love, and to be honest, that's all it needs to tell us, because that's what this anime is about. The anime was made by Feel Animation Studio, who have some weird record of anime under their belt. They made Oragairu, or commonly known as My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, which I consider one of the best romance animes out there. But they're also responsible for Bikini Warriors, Kiss Hexes, and a whole bunch of anime in the 6-star rating. The Moon So Beautiful is an anime that I got recommended by a member of my Discord, and sometimes recommendations can be a slippery slope.
And that's because you go in with an expectation. Someone has told you this anime is good, so now you expect it to be.
This anime has no flashy power-ups or big budget explosions, just a gentle real-life portrayal of young love, and that's what makes it beautiful. So Tsukigekere follows Kotaro and Akane, two middle school students navigating the awkward minefield that is their first relationship. Now before you roll your eyes and go, oh great, another high school romance, what's new? Trust me, this isn't just your average love story, it's a lot more than that. When you watch anime like Toradora or Your Name, you kind of get these grand sweeping moments that make you feel all emotional, right? But here, it's all about being subtle, and that's what makes it hit so hard. Instead of the usual, hey, let's confess our feelings in front of a bunch of people in the middle of a crowded festival, this anime zeroes in on the small moments, like how awkward it is to send the first text, or how a simple phone call can mean the world. You know, those little things that make you feel all fuzzy inside, but also kind of cringy. It's not about their budding relationship, but rather who they are as individuals. You get to see Akane's and Kotaro's growth, either that being with each other, or people like family and friends. Kotaro is the quiet, introspective kid who wants to get his writing career off the ground, but Akane is the type of girl who's all about balancing her responsibilities with a passion for running. These aren't your stereotypical I'm popular, I'm not, let's make it work kind of characters. They're real people in an ever-growing real world.
This anime just makes you feel good and it allows you to connect with the characters. I even saw myself in the characters sometimes, which is kind of amazing.
The show understands how much being a teenager sucks sometimes. It's not about your crush, it's about school pressure, family expectations, and the simple fact that you're trying to figure out who you are in the world that's constantly changing. But amidst all this, there's a little shining moment, the heart-fluttering experience of someone who understands you completely, and that's what makes the relationship so real. Yeah, the anime is not flashy, it doesn't have the heart-stopping drama or intense action that will make everyone talk about it at the water cooler, but it does have the ability to make you feel something genuine. The beauty of its simplicity is what makes it relatable. It's grounded, it's the kind of show you can watch and think, yeah, I remember that time in my life. Let's talk about the pacing for a second. This show moves at a snail's pace. And I know that sounds like a huge negative, but in this case, it's almost perfect. Most romance anime want to rush into the good stuff, the confessions, the drama. And while there's a time and place for that, this anime takes the complete opposite approach. You know those quiet, almost insignificant moments in life, like when you try to text someone and end up deleting it 3 times because you don't know how to phrase it? That's what this anime focuses on. It's a beautiful kind of slow. In fact, there's an elegance to it. The awkward silences, the tiny gestures, the nervous laughs. It's not a love story that rushes to make its point. It lets you sit with the characters, breathe with them, and feel what they feel as they slowly figure things out. Real relationships don't happen overnight. And you know what else is amazing about this anime? It doesn't just focus on the romance. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the Kotaro and Akane thing, but this anime does a great job of showing how they interact with their families, their friends, and themselves. You see, Kotaro's just not some mopey, introverted protagonist who can't speak to girls. He's a guy with goals, aspirations, like wanting to be a writer. He's passionate but also insecure. He's got his own struggles with his future. And then there's Akane, who loves running but is also dealing with family expectations. These characters feel like actual people, not just two-dimensional love interests.
I can talk for ages about what I think makes this anime good, but what makes it bad?
I mentioned how slow the pacing is, and even though that can be one of its strengths, it also drags at times. I mean, we're talking about a show for 80% of its runtime is just one moment after another of subtle awkwardness. It can get tiring after a little while, and I even caught myself thinking, come on, let's move the story on now. Another point is the amount of what seems to be irrelevant side characters. It's not about the friends, it's about Kotaro's and Akane's relationship, but the problem is it just sets up a lot of side characters who could have added a lot of depth, but then just drops them. And that's a shame, because if the anime spent more time fleshing out its secondary characters, maybe the world would have been richer, more dynamic to get invested into. The anime has a decent size focused on family dynamics, but here's the thing, those family dynamics could have been explored a lot more. It just seems like Kotaro's mum shouts all the time for the sake of some drama. But then yet again, some parents really don't know what their kids are feeling and then act like this. Another example is Kotaro's dad. He's barely there. We get some minor scenes of him talking to Kotaro about his future, but that's it. And maybe that's realistic for some families in Japan or across the world, but I'm not sure. Same goes for Akane's family, where there's this whole idea of her balancing school, sports and family pressure. But we don't really get to see much of it, it's just brushed aside for more awkward texting. Now I'm not asking for a big family drama or anything like that, just a few more scenes where the parents are kind of explaining why they act like this and then the teens can react off that, which makes it more interesting.
I know anime is perfect, but I still think As the Mood So Beautiful is a great romance to watch.
It takes everything right with Orogairu and makes the characters younger and more awkward. I still think that it's an anime people should watch. Maybe it's not the perfect romance, maybe it's not the kind of show that's going to blow your mind. But if you're looking for a quiet, bittersweet tale of first love, then this is the one for you. If you want an anime that makes you smile and cringe at the same time, one that makes you relive those awkward moments from your teenage years, then this anime might be for you too. I think that the big part of this anime shows how real it is and how subtle it can portray the story, and to be honest, sometimes in life there are moments which are super awkward or slow. This anime had me thinking back to perhaps past relationships or similar experiences, and the fact I was able to binge it all in one night says something about it, I think. It makes me very happy. So if you haven't watched it yet, please do yourself a favour and check it out. Because even though it's not the most exciting or jaw-dropping anime, but damn does it leave a good lasting impression. It's a hidden gem and it deserves a lot more love than what it got.
So another 12 episode romance anime, it snuck its way into my life, into my heart and into my watch list. So there's only one thing to do, and that's find another 12 episode romance so the cycle continues. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been Conoranimeworld. Make sure you're subscribed and I'll catch you all later.